Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring Wake up, wake up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey. Wake up, wake up. Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Hey guys!
September 5th, our first September show.
Ooh, do you remember?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you, Marc?
I'm well. I'm filling in for Bob today, who got a duo, like a real bad hit. He was hit by lightning and got a really shitty haircut.
He was getting a bad haircut and got struck by lightning.
Yeah, thanks Dougie at the West End Salon for really ruining. No, that's not. No, it wasn't Dougie that did it. Sorry, Peter cuts his hair, and do not let your husband cut your hair.
It's officially September.
Yep. Oh, we just went through this. Is your hair?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'll leave it out. Maybe it's the mic.
There it is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's officially September, and I'm always shocked by it. But the day after Labor Day, you always like walk out onto Commercial Street. You're like, oh, they're gone. It was like a very stark cutoff from Labor Day weekend right into Tuesday.
And you know that does happen, but also like and then on the weekend it picks up again or whatever.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is,
yeah.
You know, we all know.
There's still a ton of energy. It's just like you're not.
There is a breath.
You can work. You can walk around Commercial Street, which is very nice.
Yes, there is a exhale, which
Uh-huh,
is palpable, a palpable exhale.
How was your Labor Day weekend?
My Labor Day weekend was awesome. It was very busy. I went from like one thing to another. I worked on Saturday. Worked the White Party.
How was that?
The White Party was wild. I work with Paul Benson every year. We were like co-bartend in the back corner.
He says you're his bar back.
No, he doesn't say that anymore. The first year I was this bar back, and I was like,
Okay.
you know, now that I've seen how this works, we can easily both bartend and service more people and make as much money, and then split it. And yes, the bartenders do keep their tips. Those of you that didn't realize that, but we, you know, we're there banging out drinks for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
We have a clip of the White Party, but we don't have to run it now. We'll go back to that in a second.
Okay.
Just so you know, the White Party raised $190,000
That is insane.
for the Outer Cape Health Services,
Yeah.
and you know, there's a lot. You know, there's an online discourse, and it's not really discourse. It's just ranting. People are like, "Oh, the White Party, the White Party." I'm sick of hearing about the White Party. People in the White Party, and they go and they're drunk and they run around the White Party, White Party, White Party. I'm sorry you didn't get a ticket to support the fundraiser that supports the Outer Cape Health Services. So when you get your shitty STDs because you fuck everyone in town, you can get free health care. Sorry that fundraiser supports that.
Yeah.
Am I mad we live in a world where we have to have private fundraisers to support public health care? Yes, but while we live in that world, don't shit talk people that attend an event, and they go and they get drunk, who wouldn't, and raise $190,000. So like,
people are getting drunk every day. At least this one goes.
I don't hear you shit talking tea dance or you know any other thing where people come in and take a lot of money. Are you all right?
I'm good. No, I'm laughing at you.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
The video.
Oh, we can run the video now.
It's also more important than ever because we've been raising, the White Party's been raising money for Outer Cape Health for years now, which has always been very important, but now it's more important than ever with the funding cuts from the Trump administration. Overwhelmingly affecting rural hospitals and rural healthcare, which is, as much as sometimes it doesn't feel like it, we are rural healthcare.
We are the most rural town in Massachusetts when you based it on the metric of distance from a hospital.
Interesting.
Yes, I learned that. I don't know how I learned it, but I learned it.
Yeah.
Do you want to, can we run the video?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have a
is the
little
white party.
This is the white party, or at least it's somebody's idea of what they saw at the white party. If you don't know Alex, he's one of the owners of The Gathering down in South Beach. We were alerted by Stephen White that there is a smudge, a flare, something on the lens. It's like the old Hollywood days when they would put mayonnaise on the lens to make people look youthful. So we're gonna sit like this.
Yeah, we don't know how to fix it.
Out of the center of the frame. Well, also, Ethan's not here today. Look,
Ethan's not here, Bob's not here.
yeah, it's a time of year people get sick. And look, we are running a scrappy little live talk show here. And, you know, if there is ever a day at the last minute we cancel the show because half of our staff, most of whom are unpaid, call out sick, like, you just have to deal with it. But today we had Jackie coming in from out of town. We have Michelle on the show today. And I love Michelle and what she does.
We've never canceled the show.
We've never canceled a show, so, but, you know, it came close today. So we're working with what we got. So I'm over here in this lighting. I don't know what Harrison's doing. Harrison's
You know what I look like.
She's glossing up her lips as we speak. Just go smear that on
That's
the
what's causing the flare.
That's it.
My overglossed lips.
Your overglossed lips.
My Labor Day weekend, I know you had a blast and worked a lot, or I guess you had a blast?
I had a blast. I worked a lot. I did a show too. I was very busy.
But I had to miss Wake Up last Friday because I was a little under the weather, which turned into me staying in all Labor Day weekend, which was kind of bittersweet. Usually after Carnival, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for fall, and Labor Day weekend is just like one more crazy weekend to have to deal with. So I stayed in, and it was nice. But I relaxed. I feel much better now. If things are going around.
Yeah. That's another reason why I'm leaning away from here. No,
I feel great. Things are going around, so if, be sure to take extra care of your health, again, because of the things happening within the Trump administration. Yeah, basically the entire CDC quit last weekend. I know RFK was in front of, was at a Senate hearing yesterday.
Wild.
Yeah, which was wild. He basically, he said that he fired the person in charge of the CDC because she was untrustworthy. And they were like, how do you know she's untrustworthy? And he was like, I asked her, and she said no. And I'm sure it was like, we need to know we can trust you, wink, wink. And she's like, you cannot trust me. You know what I mean?
Give out the false data that you are pushing.
Yeah.
Seeing Gargamel in front of those people grilling him, and he's, God, that brainworm can't work fast enough.
I know.
Please.
Also something that happened last weekend, a hashtag went viral, which is Trump is dead, which got most of our hopes up. All of our hopes up. But unfortunately, he isn't.
Isn't, yes.
Yeah, and he did a press conference on Tuesday just to announce some bullshit he was doing, moving space.
Oh, moving space to Alabama?
Yeah, moving our
Space
space
Command?
program to Alabama, which I think is like the 47th state when it comes to education from Colorado, which is a top 5 state for education.
Yes, and I'm sure it's very high in the murder rates as well, and really shitty public health. So
Yeah.
yay, Alabama, you get Space Force.
Yeah. I think it was another effort to distract from what I'm assuming must have been a health scare last weekend. Who knows what happened to cause him disappearing for 3 days. But his health scare, the war crime he committed against Venezuela, the Epstein files, the list goes on and on.
Yes.
The Epstein survivors did do a press conference yesterday, or Wednesday, which was incredibly moving and moved a lot of our politicians, I think. So we'll see how that moves going forward.
Well, they tried to move it by flying jets over in formation to disrupt the press conference. That's a look over there kind of thing.
It's just crazy. Every day things get more and more crazy, and I feel like we often become less and less sensitive to it. It's
Right.
just kind of like, oh, more craziness, but I feel like it is reaching a fever pitch. The past couple of weeks have been absolutely wild.
And it's going to get more wild. So buckle up, folks. Buckle up. Something else I did last week, Cody Sullivan, who was on the show last week, is doing his one-man show, Sea Monsters, at the Gifford House tonight at 7 o'clock and tomorrow at 7. And so I was sort of stage managing and doing the lighting and stuff for him. So it was a very busy time. And it's nice to see people creating things. There's an article in here about Jimmy Lee's fashion show, which I was a part of. This show, obviously, so there is stuff going on in town, creative stuff that is not necessarily on the beaten path, so to speak. And if you get a chance to support these things.
Yeah, it's also like, I feel like it joins like a little crew of like incredible towny centered events that have really been blowing up over the past couple of years with like the Bearded Mistress, Jimmy Lee's fashion show, Summer of Sass's Strawberry Social.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new fun things.
Yeah, there's fun things that also like support other things. So Marissa is over the moon with the success of the Bearded Mistress. We'll have her on to talk about that whole journey that she's been on.
Did you see her show last Thursday?
I did not get a chance to see
I heard it
because
was amazing,
working.
and the pictures
It
seemed
was incredible.
Yeah.
Sam saw it and said it was incredible.
More of that.
Yeah.
Love that.
More of that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but at the same time, I was seeing Varla Jean Merman with a few friends. Everyone knows Varla Jean is my absolute favorite, and she did not disappoint.
She did not disappoint.
Yeah, such a great show. If you have the chance to go see the drowsy Chapel Rowan, go check it out, especially if you it's all about like the pop girlies.
Yeah, so it's right up your alley.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
very
know
much.
one of the
Yes,
songs
you
she was
would.
parodying.
Yes, you
Would
would.
I?
Chapel Rowan, Sabrina Carpenter,
Maybe.
Espresso. You remember that one? You couldn't avoid it last summer.
Oh, I did avoid it last summer.
How?
I as much because I didn't go to Tea Dance. No. But I do appreciate Tea Dance because they're one of our sponsors. Thank you both.
Yeah. My parents came into town yesterday. They're sitting right behind the camera right now. Yeah.
They just stole coffee mugs.
Yeah, from the
No, they borrowed
from
coffee.
the Revere guest
They're
house,
gonna
but they'll bring
return
them
their
back. We
to
promise, Paul.
Yes. Yes. I just realized what they were. I was like, those aren't Coe coffee cups. No,
Oh, right.
They're
Like
gonna
coffee.
return them. Don't worry.
Yeah. I met up with them on Commercial Street. We had a few cocktails right here at the brewery, and then we went over to Tea Dance. I thought it was their first Tea Dance, and they informed me that it wasn't. I had brought them there before.
Was it fun? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made some friends here at the Crown and Anchor Bar, Courtyard Bar, and we suggested they come to the boat slip, and they were like, "Oh, what's that?" It was they were new to town. It was a really lovely straight couple that lives in Hyannis in the summers and then outside Boston in the winters. And it was the gentleman's first time in Provincetown, and we're like, "Oh, you got to go to Tea Dance. That's where we're going." And they're like, "What's Tea Dance?" I'm like, "People just stand around and drink."
In the middle of the day.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm so good at that." So they joined.
I'm there.
Yeah, they joined. They had a blast. It was busier than I thought it would be. I guess I was just in this mindset that it's after September, it won't be too busy, but it was still a really fun, lively.
Yeah, the people. I mean, the people in the know. Like September is the best time to come because
Truly.
it's still warm. It's not as warm as it usually is. Hopefully, that thermometer is going to creep back up, but the water's still warm. Things are still open. You know, a lot of shows start winding down in the next week. But like, if you don't like crowds, if you like to be able to get into a restaurant without a huge wait or whatever. You come in September, and it is it's beautiful. There's some heartbreakingly beautiful sunsets that happen in September. The skies, the lighting changes. It's really spectacular.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to mention the one thing I did leave the house for this past weekend was Kristen Becker's birthday this past Saturday. So a big happy birthday to Kristen Becker. Yeah. And she says it's she does it every year, but it's the second year she's done it, but she calls it birthday beach camp. She basically arrives at the beach in her, because she does topless tours, so in the Jeeps at like 10 a.m. and stays until midnight, and just people can come and join and leave as they want. I went and hung out for a few hours, and it was truly one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in Provincetown this past Saturday.
Well, speaking of sunset, last night I work at Arts doing tours, and last night we took people out for a bonfire. And my coworker, because there was 2 trucks that went out, my coworker was like, "Oh my God, these guys! We had them last year. They were so obnoxious. Don't even bother giving the tour. Just get them to the beach as fast as possible because they just want to drink on the beach." And I was like, "Yuck! That sounds terrible."
I love drinking on the beach.
But I was like, "Okay. I mean, I'm a professional tour guide, but I'll do this." And he was like, "It's the Provincetown Yacht Club. Oh, they're just awful." So we get there, and I see some of the people, and one of them was Edward Fontenot, who was our guest on the show, who writes for The Independent. And I was like, he doesn't seem like a yuck person. And then his husband was there, and then these other people that I recognized from town. I was like, I don't think this doesn't seem. And we're doing the tour, and they were asking a lot of questions. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it the tour and more. And we're going, and they're like, "Oh, who's that? And what's this? And what's this?" And I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then we get to the beach, and Art, my co-driver, walks up to me and says, "This isn't the same group I thought it was." And I was like, "Thank God," because I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
So
Marc the whole time is just ignoring them.
you're like, "No, stop asking questions. I hear you're a bunch of assholes." No. So it was the Provincetown Yacht Club, and they were having their sort of end of season little celebration. And it sounds snooty, Provincetown Yacht Club, whatever. They're people with 16-foot sailboats.
Work.
And what they do as an organization is they have people that have boats whose spouses are landlubbers and they don't want to be on a boat. So they have a social organization where they invite people who don't have boats to become part of the yacht club. And then they have open sails, and they invite people in town to come out on these boats, because you always need a crew to be on a sailboat. So it's a way to get everybody more experience on the water if they want to be part of it. And it's a social thing. All mixed age groups. There are a lot of gay couples, straight people. It's if you can imagine. But it was really lovely. There's a guy who's writing a musical about the pirate ship the Whydah. And there was Edward, who's a writer, and there were a couple of power dykes. Their words, not mine. But it was just fun. And they were like, "Can we be on the show sometime?" And I was like, "Absolutely," because this is what the show's about. It's highlighting things you might not know about that are community oriented.
And bringing community together.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a really cool thing. So Provincetown Yacht Club, I know some of you are watching. You guys were awesome.
Yeah. I love that.
Bring the power dykes.
Exactly.
They were all arguing because the Commodore, the guy who was, I guess, not the Commodore anymore, he's like, "Well, I'm an honorary lesbian." And I was like, "No, you're a dyke." And they were yelling back and forth and stuff. And it was, anyway, I'll get into it. We'll love to hear it, yes. What else did you do?
I do want to take a quick moment. This past week, the community suffered a really great loss. Our good friend Chuck, who most of you probably know as the smiling face when you go eat at Liz's Cafe, or more recently Helltown, passed away this past Tuesday. So many people in town truly loved him. He was such an amazing person to run into, an amazing person to create a really incredible hospitality experience, and the community truly suffered a great loss. There's been a few losses to our community recently, so please take care of your health, especially your mental health. I do this a lot where I feel like what is happening in the world, I put it out of my mind, and I'm like, that's not affecting my mental health, but it affects you, even
it's cumulative.
And things are hard out there. So hug your loved ones, check in on people, take stock in your own mental health.
If people you know for a long time, or people you don't know, if they start to, if their behaviors that you see on a daily basis start to change in any way, just, and it's hard to reach out to someone you don't really know very well. I'm a big, no, people aren't gonna like this. Well, sometimes you see people in town, you're like, that person doesn't seem to be well at the moment. And I have friends on the police force that I'm just like, can we just sort of keep an eye on this person? Because things don't seem to be okay for them. If you're walking around a parking lot muttering to yourself for 2 hours, you're probably not on the phone. And just like check in with people, like, you know, take stock of your surroundings. You know people in town, you see them every day. If they start to behave a little off, and I'm not saying call the police, but like try to figure out if things are okay with them. Because people don't reach out, they don't know what to do. And the town is being very proactive in a way, in the ways that the town can be. They are launching a online mental health, behavioral, and substance use resource. And it's, you know, it's yet another resource. It is not crisis resource that you call the suicide hotline or something, but it is a, do we have that? Yeah, we're getting it. It is a resource. It's an app, web-based thing that you go on, and it shows you coping techniques, resources for getting help. There's no stigma if you have substance abuse issues. You know, it's hard to get to the place to reach out for help, but this town is very supportive of people with substance abuse issues. The sober community in this town is a great, strong one, so please reach out for help. And as soon as yeah, somewhere. It's on the town website, but please reach out. And I do commend the town for being as proactive as they can in trying to get people help when other people are taking away the help. Like defunding, you know, suicide hotlines and stuff like that. So
Friends can use the website too if they're looking for resources for a friend.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yes, so if you are seeking help because your friend has, you know, going through things, go to the website and see what you can do. It's like, you know, it's a version of Al-Anon or whatever, where it's like, I'm having a friend who has troubles. I don't know how to speak to them about something like that. So please reach out, do anything you can to educate yourself and to try to help those that you love, or just know.
Yeah. Anything else in the paper this week?
There's a lot of stuff in the paper. The Provincetown Independent, thank you very much. They just did with the National Park, did a wildfire panel. If you don't know, wood in forest build up and you can't just sweep it away. Thank you, Donald Trump, and your nonsense. The forest here used to burn before the Puritans came in and destroyed everything on their own. So on August 28th, they had a meeting with the Cape Cod National Seashore, the superintendent and stuff, to talk about wildfires. And then they happened to have a wildfire in Beach Forest, which they took care of very quickly.
Do they know the cause of that?
No, not that I am aware of. But they're talking about how there's 18,000 of the 43,000 acres in the seashore are vulnerable to fires, and there's hundreds of homes in the national seashore surrounded by forest. And, you know, they're trying to explain to people this is what you could do to fortify your property, but what we can do collectively to see that there are controlled burns and stuff. And basically, one of the things that they're talking about that's going to happen, although the funding is being cut to do it, is trying to get a volunteer force back, because they used to go out and do these burns, help cut down fallen trees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That has sort of fallen away, but they're trying to figure out how to get volunteers back to do that. The town is doing a wildfire preparedness day on Saturday, September 27th from 11 to 2. In which homeowners can get together and talk about their concerns. Check the town website for that. One of the things that came out in the article was towns on Cape Cod are going to have to get used to 1 or 2 days in the off season of smoke, because they need to burn this collected debris from the forest. It's going to require smoke happening. So if you're in Truro and on the day of October, whatever, they say, we're going to do this burn, don't be calling and say, oh my God, I can't go out of my house, it's so smoky, because it's something that's going to need to happen in order so that your house doesn't burn in a runaway wildfire.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Also of interest science-wise, so they did this thing at Woods Hole where they are testing the oceans sequester carbon. The oceans are getting more acidic because they keep sequestering carbon. So there's a theory that if they make the ocean more alkaline by adding sodium hydroxide, it will be able to collect more carbon. So they did an experiment just off the coast of Provincetown in an area that is pretty dead as far as what lives in this area. And so they were testing it in this area so they could be sure wildlife wasn't affected. And from all of the test preliminary data, it was successful.
Awesome.
They have to extrapolate whether or not the creation of this chemical and the boats to drive the chemical into the sea, et cetera, offsets the CO2 that the sea can absorb. But also what happens when the ocean gets more acidic is mollusks, anything with a shell, can't form shells because the acid in the ocean eats away the shells. Oh, no. So it would be detrimental to our shellfish industry if the ocean becomes more acidic. So they're trying to figure out a way to mitigate that. But science, yay!
Yeah.
Let's keep funding it.
That was the sound of no one caring until it affected their raw bar happy hour.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Why are these oysters $5 each? It's because of the ocean tick. Yeah. One other thing, sorry to bore you with, so there were, over the summer, the Dolphin Fleet launched these new harbor cruises with music on it. And
I went on one, it was awesome.
And I went on one of the Dennis Minsky led tours. And I thought literally we sort of went on it to sort of find out if it was noisy. We went around and thought we were going to be just in the harbor. And we did like one little quick thing. And then we went way out to almost where the whales are. So it wasn't just a harbor cruise. And I think a lot of the complaints were like these big diesel vessels are like making a lot of noise in the harbor, and the music cruises are loud and whatever. So they went, and the party boats that are 4 times a year now, Frolic and the Bear Boat, et cetera, and the excessive noise that occurs, which changes based on wind patterns, on whatever, whether it's loud. And so they brought it up to the select board whether we needed to have licenses, specific entertainment licenses for these cruises so they can have some control over it. And the select board was like, we think that this is being okay right now. It's like 2 hours of your life in the middle of summer. It is summer on Cape Cod, in Provincetown. If you wanted quiet, move to Truro, sort of thing. The people who operate these cruises and the boats, when they get a noise complaint into the harbor master, Pete Wen, calls and says, hey, it's too loud, and they immediately move away. So everyone has been responsive to the noise complaints.
I also heard people were complaining about noise in the harbor, but the music cruises leave the harbor. They go straight out and on the.
Correct, and I think it's just a new thing, and I could understand like if every day there was something going on out there. But was it Leslie that said this? Maybe she's like, I hear tea dance from my house, and I live in the far East End. Like we hear the music from the Crown and Anchor when they have their big parties. I live on Tasha Hill in the woods, and if there's something going on at the monument, it's literally in my house. And it's summer. I don't really complain about it. It's not happening at 2 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep. So if you made the choice to be in this town, you have to realize in the summer, it's busy, it's loud, there's a lot of people. You just have to, that's part of the deal of being here. If you want it quiet, East End is right down the road. Because you could easily uproot and move to East End.
Of
It's
course.
super cheap down there.
Yeah.
So that's the news that I was able to cull from the newspaper at the last minute because of Bob's terrible haircut that Peter gave him.
One last thing I did do this past week, I drove down with Todd to Orleans to visit the Wildwater Collective, which is a super cute store in Orleans if you had never been. It's right next to Sunbird, which is a really delicious food spot. But it is a very queer store. You'll see the rainbow flag there in a brand new location, which is next to Sunbird, like I said. Check it out. It's super cute. Great gift giving there.
Oh, and Mariah Fidalgo runs that. And I worked with Mariah for the film festival for the past few years. She was the sort of like service person that dealt with all the celebrities.
She's fantastic.
She's awesome. She's awesome. So go check it out.
Should we do the roundup?
I think, are we ready to do the roundup, Sam?
Let's do the roundup.
Let's go to Sam with your weekly roundup.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wake Up Weekly Roundup with me, Sam Sewell, for the week of September 5th through September 11th. We're going to get right into it, and starting today, we have Escape to the Cape, hosted by the Lambda Car Club, which takes place on McMillan Pier, and it's all about old-time cars. So go check them out. They have parades, they have cars. It's going to be a great event. Also this weekend, it's the Swim for Life, which means tonight is the celebration of life happening at the UU, produced by John Thomas and featuring a slew of Provincetown talent. It's a great celebration. It's free and it starts at 8 p.m. Also tonight, you can see Naming Sally, an interactive community-based storytelling event presented by the Provincetown Art Society. That will be at the Mary Heaton Vorse House, so go check that out. And something that you're not going to want to miss is the last weekend of Southern Harmony at the Wellfleet Harbor Actors Theater. From the sets to the acting to the producing, everything about this is really beautiful, and it tells a wildly true story, so go check that out. Then on Saturday, if you look to the harbor, you will see all manners of swimmers and kayakers for the Swim for Life, the 38th annual Swim for Life. Also happening at the Wellfleet Great Pond at 9 a.m., but it will be at the Provincetown Harbor at 11 a.m., complete with reception and party afterwards, featuring Zoe Lewis. Then American Faggot Party will be at the Stanley Art Space at 6 p.m. with 20 Summers producing a panel, so go check that out. And then on Sunday, speaking of Zoe Lewis, Souvenirs, a musical memoir, will happen at the Red Room on the 7th at 7 p.m. Then looking forward, the Cape Cod Classic is happening from the 11th through the 14th. The Aviators are coming to town, so go say hi and thank you for their service. See them out on the street, the LGBTQ plus Aviators of America. And then upcoming at the Mary Heaton Vorse House, the Autumn Sunset Market is happening on the 11th to celebrate the harvest season, and it's happening at 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. As always, if you'd like to see anything on the Wake Up Weekly Roundup, please email me at wakeuproundup@gmail.com or at me. I promise you that I will get more on Instagram, but I'm currently setting up for the Tennessee Williams Fest, so stay tuned for that. But if you DM me at Wake Up Roundup on Instagram, I will get at you. As always, have a great week. It's Towny Summer, everyone. See you out there.
Provincetown, but there's still so much going on. Come hang, come visit. Please welcome Michelle Axelson to the show.
Hi.
Thanks for coming back again.
Thank you.
You've been on many times.
Yes.
But we wanted to talk to you about something really exciting that recently happened. You are the recipient
Yes.
of the Las Culturistas Jamie Lee Curtis Award for gusto, enthusiasm, and
Individuality. Obviously.
Exactly. I want to start from the beginning, and I'm sure you've told this story so many times, but how did this come about?
You know, when the announcement of the nominations came out, I did not know that was going to happen. Actually, the first person who told me was KT. She's like, holy shit.
So you didn't know ahead of time?
Ahead of that, I didn't know. But I came to understand why. So last year when the guys were in town, they came to the shop, and it was the week that Kamala announced that she was running. And people were referring to Women Crafts as the Kamala store, because we had posters and t-shirts and bags and pins and all of that. And so they came in, and as they came in, I obviously recognized Bo and Yang, but I listened to the show, and for me, I love the show because it's so much about friendship. And I know that Matt is the less famous of the friends. So I just kind of shined my light on him and paid attention. And I had my beautiful little baby puppy whose name was Charlie, and like Brat summer had just been happening. Oh, Charlie's Brat. And so we had this cute little interaction. They all bought books. I gave them t-shirts, and they posed with the t-shirts, and I tagged them. And because I tagged them, they followed back. And over the year, they've engaged with the shop with some of the things I've done. So it's been this cute little, particularly Matt, like, oh, hey, like, that's sweet. But this summer, I started doing this things from Memorial Day at 12:34 every day. I do a moment of queer joy. So I go live on my front stoop and share some news in the world that's positive, or if there's somebody in the shop that's like, hey, we just got engaged, or my fiance's mom is coming to our wedding and we can't believe it, or you know, good news in town. So I do this every day, and when I'm live, I can see who's watching. And several times, Matt's been watching. And so one time, this young, cute dyke couple was announcing their engagement, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, Matt Rogers is watching. You're famous, he's famous. And he's chatting back at me and saying like, thank you for queer joy. And I'm like, oh, Las Culture gives us so much joy. And so it was always sweet, right? And then this nomination comes up, and And whenever the shop gets attention, particularly from men, I have like Billy Eichner gave the shop attention one time, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm in on the joke or if I am the joke. You know, it's this fine line. And so this category, the other people nominated were Gagachella, Benson Boone flipping, Monster Alyssa Sue, who's a crazy weird character from The Measure, and Julia Fox. And so I'm like, what? Like, okay. And nothing else in, like, there's 100 categories, and one of the categories is the best word to whisper. You know, like, it's all a joke. It's all a joke, but like, okay, is it a good joke? And
Right. Am I in on the joke, or am I the butt of the joke?
Right.
I do feel like it kind of coincides with your mission of queer joy, though.
Absolutely. Well, and so like I had like that little feeling, but then I like everything these guys do, so I don't think that they would purposefully do that, you know. And so on their feed, you know, it's Bowen in a tuxedo announcing it, and I just wrote, oh, can we, what is it called when you like try to get people to vote? Can we campaign? And so like everybody just starts writing women crafts, and people are sending like, I watch what my mom loves women crafts, like all this stuff. And so like all this little love, and the guys both wrote to me separately, it's not a joke, you're going to win.
Don't worry about the campaign.
Yeah, like, and we love you, we love what you do, all of that. And then I didn't know it was going to be on the show, you know, because then it was on Bravo, and then more men before it aired. So they filmed in LA, and then it aired on Bravo on August 5th or whatever night Bearded Mistress was. And there was a week and a half in between, and more gay men than usual came in that time period, and a few said that they were at the show in LA. And so like there still was this little feeling like, is it real? And then my wife, who is a Unitarian Universalist minister, I was at her first service in her new congregation in Nantucket, and I get a message from Bowen Yang saying, just so you know, it's one of the highlights of the show. Anna Gasteyer is going to accept. We wrote this skit. It is intended to be a love letter to the shop. Please receive it as such, you know, and then him and Matt both jumped on, and I'm sitting there like not telling my wife, like, I'm texting with Bowen Yang. At church. And, and what I know about them also, and what was confirmed to me over this process, is that these are gay men who I think of as thoughtful and engaged and friends and collaborative. And also like some of Bowen's like tightest writers on SNL are non-binary or lesbian. And so you just tell the sensibility is real. One of their when it was on Bravo, there's this really pretty picture of the shop, and their friend that came to take the picture to send to the production came and walked through the shop and left crying, and he's like, I just need to remember that lesbians saved gay men during the AIDS crisis. And so like to have, and Bowen and Matt are younger than me, they're 35, you know, but that they get that. I don't know, for people who listen to the pod, I can do an advertisement for them, but if you listen this week they talk about drugs and gay male culture and sex in a way of, are we allowed to talk about this in public? And should we let straight people know if we're concerned about this? And what are the implications and reasons? And it was the most thoughtful conversation I heard, and I believed them in talking about like what GHB crystal meth K can do to our community, and I love that. I love that that's honest. I love that that's so well listened to. They've treated me so kindly. They've treated the shop like, it got to the point that I'm like, okay, who's running their social media? Like I have to stop thinking it's them, but it like really is Matt, and he keeps reposting everything I do, and I'm like, stop it. Like I sent one message like, I'm gonna have to spend time in therapy talking about this. Like, please stop being so nice. It's confusing.
A gay man being nice.
And so, you know, it was on. So I knew it was going to be on the show, and I didn't tell many people, but I had a viewing party at the shop, and we brought our TV down, and my wife filmed. We made a fake like red carpet. We borrowed velvet ropes and interviewed, you know, Adam from Adam's Nest. What are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing Adam's Nest. And Courtney from Somerset wore like, she's the only, of course, the straight girl. She's the only one that really wore a gown. And so, you know, and just this, and my mom in a Women Crafts t-shirt, you know, it was all really great. And so we watched, and I knew what was going to happen, but my friends didn't, and people like freaked out. And, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is on stage talking about my store, and here comes Anna Gasteyer playing kind of her NPR character, and you know, like she looked like a lesbian in the 90s or a hippie chick from the 90s who worked in a bookstore. She was covered in pins. She had a tote bag. She said, save NPR. Like, none of that bothers. Like, if any of that's a joke, that's not a joke. That's a compliment. That's who we are. That's where we come from. That's where we're going. She gave me, like, I hadn't made a Save NPR pin, so now I have. Thank you, Anna. And because of that, I made a sign that said Save NPR and pinned it to my building. And Nina Totenberg was walking by and she stopped and posed. And I wouldn't have known Nina walking. I know her voice. But I'm like, holy shit, tell me about RBG. Like, you just stopped at my store because of the sign, because of Anna, because of the guys, you know, and like, so since it's aired, there's been, yeah, a lot of foot traffic in the shop. And then the next week they were in town for Carnival and they came and they told me what day they were going to come. And like Matt was on it about wanting to be there at 12:34, knowing that I do that. They were a little late, so we pretended it was 12:34.
I wasn't sure because in the video, there's like a little nod to a joke and I'm like.
Right, because I say good afternoon Provincetown, it's 12:34 and I do it in the video. I'm like, ish. You know. But what was nice was, and Julian's been really funny and nice and included in all of this. Like, he was messaging me the morning that I was hearing from them, so he knew. And they got him to have, this is so stupid, but I mean, and nice, but the state Senate of Massachusetts gave me an award, a commendation for winning the Jamie Lee Curtis Award. You know, it's a funny thing to say, like, congratulations on the award when it's a joke. Like, I understand women crafts is being appreciated. I appreciate women crafts. I appreciate that people appreciate it. But in the context of a joke show, like, congratulations, thanks. Like, I didn't do some, you know, like some of these other categories, but I think what I did or what they've done is just share, like, we need each other so badly right now. We need to cheer for each other, stand up for each other, show up for people, like go in the stores we don't know as well, think about who we know the least in town and support them. Like, it's made people who have walked by me for years like stop in the shop and say, oh, I didn't know you sold cards. So like, if women crafts isn't necessarily for you, like if you buy cards, I sell the best cards in the world. Like, come buy your cards all winter from me, you know, things like that. So like, the foot traffic of men has been really sweet. And my like base customer, my Anna Gasteyer character customer who has no idea what any of this is, has had so much fun learning about it and following and like being happy for us. And yeah, when they came, it was really fun. And I met some of their friends. I made them pins that said, I don't think so, honey. I made a shirt for the store. I brought some for you guys. Like, whatever. But it's led to really interesting and fun conversations. And because they keep reposting my things, my social media, you know, I have an active following of people who actually know who we are. So it's interesting to have people who don't know us, but it went from 5,000 to like 9,500.
Awesome.
I got a note like that after that video, I had 900 new follows, and it's kicked me into like posting on TikTok more and things like that. And so like, if there's an audience to be had, I'll greatly have it for the shop, especially because most of what I'm posting is this queer joy stuff or things going on in town and the way in which we engage. And so like, for the shop to be there for next year will be our 50th anniversary. So to have more eyes on us in this moment, like, yeah, put them here, put them on Provincetown, put them on queer-owned places that want other queer people to stay alive. And this is how we do it. And, you know, like by supporting each other and showing up and celebrating the space we have, by keeping P-Town queer. I'm just going to say, as I'm wearing this and everyone's looking, to our straight allies, I include you in this. I want Provincetown to be queer in a way that straight people who are queer adjacent, and you are queer if you love queer people and you show up and you vote for us and you take care of us, but you're not queer adjacent if you come to town and take over the street and are homophobic and do anything hateful and bitch about bathrooms. So that's my pitch for keeping the street queer.
And you recently bought the building.
Yep.
Correct. So you're there. No one's raising your rent and kicking you out. You're not going anywhere. 50 years strong.
For another 50.
Yeah, exactly. But that, I mean, talking about like what this season has been like, if I didn't own the building, I would have been a lot more scared about this season. You know, when the money is up and down, I have the grace and gift of the longevity of 49 years to know you can ride through hard seasons. But if I was petrified about rent, this would be a really scary year.
I hear you.
So I'm so grateful for all the help we got in buying the building.
We're grateful for you for everything you do in town to support others and to amplify voices and to create community. And we love having you on the show to talk about it. And congratulations on.
As much as it's silly, it's well deserved.
But it's silly in the sense of like you are being celebrated, and you get the joke. You're not a humorless person, and you're just like, I'll take every bit of spotlight on me and recognize it was done with love, and it was Congratulations.
Thank you for everything you do. You're always the first person to step up, to organize, bring community together for amazing causes.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your award again.
So check out Women's Crafts. If you don't know what it is, you will be surprised. And if you do know what it is, just stop in and congratulate Michelle at Women's Crafts.
Thank you.
Let's head on over to Sean with the weather.
Good morning, P-Town. It was a wet and blustery start here in town. Showers marched across the region earlier, but the good news is they're already slipping out to sea. We've had a lovely stretch of weather this week, but the weekend looks a little more interesting. Today, showers have cleared, leaving us with some partly sunny skies. It's windy, as you can see, camera moving around, and it's humid. Highs near 78. Saturday, the day of the annual Swim for Life event, stays warm but windy and humid with variable clouds. Water temps look good compared to last year, but the breeze around midday could be the wild card. Sunday cools down with some morning rain before turning cloudy and breezy. Highs near 69. Monday starts off gusty before settling into filtered sun and a more comfortable temp around 70. Tuesday and Wednesday bring a repeat performance. Sun, high clouds, and highs near 70 to 71. By Thursday, skies clear out for plenty of sunshine, again around 70. We've also got a full moon on Sunday. Elsewhere in the world, it'll show as a blood moon lunar eclipse, but here in the States, we'll have to wait until March for that drama. Still, a full moon means high tides around noon and midnight, so if you're planning a bonfire Sunday night, clouds may crash the party, and if you're sneaking out around town late, well, things might get splashy. Tomorrow is Provincetown's 38th annual Swim for Life, bringing the community together in support of local health, housing, and wellness organization. The swim kicks off around noon, and I'll be out volunteering, piloting one of the many safety boats. It's always an inspiring day on the water. Fingers crossed those winds behave. And finally, you know the drill. If it's Friday, it's dog tag tea at the boat slip. Gear, camo, and leather. And yes, we still have 10 more days of daily tea dance and the pool deck before we switch to weekend-only tea through November 9th, ending with Last Dance that Sunday. Quick note for this weekend, Sunday will be solid gold. And don't forget our friends at Test and Treat are here to keep you happy, healthy, and horny. Book an appointment at 774-538-3350. That's it for me. Everyone have a great weekend. For those of you in town, I will see you at tea. Boys, back to you at the brewery.
Thank you so much, Sean. It's still sunny. Come on down.
Please welcome Jackie Opitz from Sustainable Cape, here to tell you about some of the things that Sustainable Cape does that you don't know about, but one of them is the farmers market that you do know about.
Yeah, every Saturday right on Ryder Street. We're in town through October, so now that there's some more space for the townies, please come visit. We're still there, rain or shine. Local meat, certified organic produce, and other organic growers in town, beautiful flowers, honey, eggs, and a lot of love.
How long have you been with Sustainable Cape?
Let's see. I was an intern in 2022, and then was helping out at the Truro Farmers Market, which we also manage, and then one thing quickly led to the next, and now I manage the Provincetown Market also, support with our larger food access work throughout the Cape in supporting other farmers markets and running food access programs. I'm also a dietitian and help with our Food is Medicine program, where we serve mass health patients with chronic conditions that research shows food can support in lifelong health. And that program's been growing and is really exciting. And then help with our Farmer in the School program too. We have at the Provincetown Elementary School. We do a garden program weekly in the fall and spring with the students there, which is super fun. So I get to do a little bit of it all now.
That's cool.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And as far as like farmers markets and supporting local farmers, we know that that's very important because someday we might have to blow up the bridge and have our own place. And we don't grow a lot of food here on Cape Cod, but you're supporting local agriculture. You're supporting most people who do organic farming, correct?
Yeah, or just regenerative and sustainable practices in general. The organic certification can be expensive, but a lot of people here on the Cape really recognize the value of the land, and that's always been the mission of Sustainable Cape, the Center for Agricultural Preservation and Education, but recognizing our unique place here on the Cape and how that plays into the aquaculture and everything as well. But yeah, I think now more than ever, it's super important to be supporting our local food systems and really building a deeply rooted food system here. More than it looks like, there's a lot of little mighty farmers out there, and the amount of food that we can bring the community is quite, it always amazes me, and I'm quite excited to move into the fall crops too.
Oh yeah. And one thing that they have taught, like working with the school kids, is like it has been proven that when you put your hands in the dirt, hormones are released in your body. You actually become calmer. You get there's a whole host of actual physiological things that happen when you put your hands in soil.
Yeah.
When you breathe in the microbes from soil and stuff and to teach children this is where it comes from. And
Totally. Seeing them learn that firsthand and then begging to eat more kale out of the garden is so much fun.
You're all rabbits, though.
Yeah.
You're all rabbits.
But yeah, really the connection, the mental benefits of gardening, but also, like you said, the microbiome of the soil really does connect to your gut microbiome, and then the nutrient density of the food that you're eating locally. It hasn't been shipped across the country and lost all its nutritive value. The soil that people have built up here and are growing in is really beneficial for our health in that way too.
Yeah, and I think that as someone who takes care of a friend's garden, and I do the seedlings, and they just want to have a pretty garden, and I'm always like, well, I think that this isn't doing well. They're like, we don't really care, because part of the thing is yes, we know if you grow a tomato in Provincetown or the surrounding area, it's probably cost you $75 for that tomato, but it's really not about that tomato. It's about the whole process of growing the seed and planting the plant and nurturing the plant and whatever, and eating something that you've created in a way that doesn't taste like that awful tomato in the store or whatever. And it's an experience. It's a part of,
The whole journey makes it worth it. And you can see that at the market too. Our farmers really care, and I feel like when I eat that summer tomato that Farmer Deb grew, or Eric has been expanding his farm and everything, it's like you can really feel the love that went into growing these crops as well, and taste the difference. And
as opposed to opening up that clamshell of the cherry tomatoes that we still have in December. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have an event coming up soon, right?
Yes, next Thursday, the 11th, at the Mary Heaton Vorst House in Provincetown, down on the East End, 466 commercial,
that
I
sounds right.
think.
Yeah,
Close.
About, yeah.
Down by Angel Foods, in collaboration with the Provincetown Arts Society. We're excited to have our autumn sunset market and bar. So combine the farmers market with local chefs featuring, I'm always so excited to see what the local chefs create from the local farmers and fishermen's fair. It's quite delicious. And then add a cocktail to the mix. The event is a benefit for Sustainable Cape. You can find tickets at sustainablecape.org or on the Provincetown Arts Society website as well. We're super excited to collaborate with them in another beautiful event in the Mary Heaton Vorst House with art on display. It's just a really fun community.
And you've done these seasonal events there before, and I've worked a couple of them, and it's super sweet. It's you're in a lovely garden, you're having a nice craft cocktail, you're eating locally sourced produce and meats and stuff prepared by chefs. It's a really fun experience.
And with the autumn equinox approaching, we should actually hit the sunset timeline this time. So be there right as the sun goes down over the bay, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can come by the local fair from the farmers and fishermen after you've tasted it from the chefs and enjoyed your cocktail in the beautiful house and all of our community here.
And so a way to support Sustainable Cape is by continuing to go, supporting the local farmers at the farmers market, going to this event, and also checking out. You have a lot of programs that you do that are in the schools, and you also help facilitate the crop swap
Yes.
as well at the library. If you don't know what that is, stores, farmers, etc., when they have extra produce that's going to spoil, goes to the library and it's free.
At the farmers market, we run what we call a Grow Row for Neighbors program. So if anyone has too many tomatoes that they can't keep up with right now, or the farmers will donate extra, or you can donate funds and then we can buy them from the farmers. And then at the end of the farmers market day, every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1, we bring the produce down to the refrigerator at the library for the crop swap. So there's a lot of fresh goodies then too.
Yeah, my boyfriend Paul Rizzo's always like, hey, we missed the crop swap today. Go to sign up for the library's notice so when the crop swap is open, because it's a great way to be like, oh, I've never had this bok choy or whatever, and you can taste things that you didn't know, and then you can go to the farmer's market and buy it from a local farmer.
Yeah, not the farmer's market. Another part of our mission at Sustainable Cape is equitable food access for all. So food access work in our local community is super important to us. So our whole market is accept SNAP, and then try and promote the state benefits PIP, which is an extra. Actually, it just went up again. The funding has been on and off a little bit for that. But we're excited for some good news. September, the benefits went back up. So based on your household size, if you're an EBT recipient in Massachusetts, that extra healthy incentive program, which is designed specifically for fresh produce at farmers markets, goes up to a monthly allotment of $40, $60, or $80 a month that you can come use at the farmers market and buy that produce and then support the farmers with that. Sustainable Cape also runs a bonus match program, so up to $10 anytime you visit the farmers markets, we bonus that with tokens that can be used for additional fruits and vegetables. And that applies also to the state coupons for WIC families, senior coupons issued through the Council on Aging. And then we run a program for veterans called Project Gratitude, where we also offer that bonus.
There's
So
everyone come visit. So much that you guys support, and it's all about community. It's about keeping things local, supporting local farmers, supporting local people. If you don't know the benefits, check out sustainablecape.org, and you will learn all about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And that's where they can also get tickets for the event?
Yeah, online on our website, sustainablecape.org, tickets for the event. Go check them out. I think we're getting close to selling out. So next Thursday, we'd love to see you there. And if not, come catch us Saturdays on Ryder Street through October.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and for all the work you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Crown and Anchor, the Provincetown Brewing Company, the Provincetown Business Guild, PTV, the Provincetown Inn, Provincetown Tourism, and the Boat Slip.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in today. Yeah. Bob, I hope your hair grows out well. Ethan, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and thank you for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey! Oh! Hey! Wake up, wake up. Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee?